Yes, hello everyone. How are you all? Tony, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me clearly? Yes, hello, Cody. William, how are you doing?
Yes, good evening, Mr.
How are you?
Okay, please. Thank you for the session.
Welcome. I'm seeing Godwin. Bernard has been around, Barnabas and Tony. Maybe Godwin could say hi to us. So we shall be planning for our offline session. we shall be giving you updates, and probably some of you could be very well interested in having a one-on-one, and at the same time sharing experience. So we shall do that, which shall be coupled up with also a reception of your certificates for those that could have attended 75%. So it's 5 minutes, past 16 hours. I think we could start, and then the rest could get us on the way. Okay. So my name is Mike Ayub Hussein, and this session has been organized by me and Dr. Saeed, and you're all very welcome. So the radio session shall be sent in by Dr. Saeed later in time. So today we're going to discuss chapter 3, and as it's been your concentration, we've been trying to, we concentrated on this for the couple of remaining days. That is last Monday, this Monday, and then next Monday. So today, let us discuss sampling techniques. They usually disturb on students always get a little confused about what is my sampling technique. I'm selecting participants in this manner. So how can I call that? Get it? So today you're going to learn more about the sampling techniques. How do you pick participants, okay, from a population into your study? So sampling is a selection of a sample group, a small group of people that you can study from a huge population, basing on your research purpose. If your research is tackling mothers, pregnant mothers, then how do you pick a sample from maybe mothers attending antenatal? Because you may not really need to do research on all of them, okay? So sampling techniques are based on either its probability or non-probability, okay? So for probability sampling techniques, every participant has a chance to participate in the research. But for non-sampling, for non-probability sampling techniques, it's based on the researcher's probably conveniency. It's not based on probability. That means not every participant is has a chance to participate in that study. So for probability sampling techniques, we have simple random sampling, we have systematic random sampling, we have stratified random sampling, and also we have cluster sampling techniques. So we are going to discuss the probability, and then at the end we shall discuss the non-probability, which include quota, self-selection, conveniency, snowball, purposive, and also we have conveniency down there. So for a simple random sampling technique, which is a probability sampling technique, participants are randomly selected, and this is purely based on the chance, and everyone has a chance to be selected in this study. So we have ways on how we do random sampling. It can either be lottery method or it can be random number method. So for lottery method, like you can pick papers, maybe written on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or written on all the names of the people you want to participate, and then you'll pick from those papers, okay? And randomly you'll pick from those papers, and the people that you'll pick probably are the ones that will participate. So we also have random number table method. For the random number table method, it usually works when the population is so huge that when the population is so huge, so you create random numbers, and you create numbers from which you pick the numbers of those that will participate in the study. So we also have now the types. So types of simple random sampling, you are either going to do simple random sampling with replacement or without replacement. So with replacement, I can give an example of when you're picking papers from a basket, or papers of participants from a basket and then returning them back. So there is a probability that you may pick one participant twice, okay? So that is with replacement. So without replacement is you pick and you're not returning that paper back into the basket, okay? So we have also systematic sampling, which is an advanced simple random sampling, whereby the participants are selected at a fixed interval. Give an example of, you may have like 20 participants and then you're like, I'll be considering the even numbers, okay? I'll be considering even numbers. So when, as you're picking, the even numbers are the participants you're going to consider. If you pick one, that one won't be considered. So you go on, you pick the second one. If you pick paper 2, pick paper 5, that one is taken off. Pick paper 6, that one is included. Pick paper 9, that one is not included. Paper 10, then that one is included. That name is included, okay? So it can also be in a manner that you can go to a facility and then you'll be like, I'm going to recruit HIV patients, but I'm going to recruit after one patient. So when one patient comes in, you recruit that one. Then the second one that comes in, you don't recruit. You recruit now the third one. When the fourth one comes in, you don't recruit. You recruit the fifth one. So that is also systematic sampling. So we also have another random sampling, which is probability sampling, which is stratified random sampling. So for stratified random sampling, its population is divided into groups called strata, and participants are selected randomly from that strata, from that group that you've selected, okay? But stratas are based on age, so they're different from cluster. A cluster is based on natural and natural characteristics, okay? You'll see that later in time. So types of stratified, we have proportional and also non-proportional. So for proportional, as it says, as it states, the numbers are equal in every strata, okay? So you have a strata of like females and males, a strata of female and male, and those numbers are equal, 10, 10, 10 males, 10 females, okay? And the non-proportional, it's the vice versa that. So you've seen down there the image, population, strata, and then after forming the strata, then you now randomly select the participants and then form a sample or form a group of participants that you include in your study, okay? So it is different from the cluster in that a cluster is already an existing natural occurring group. Give an example of a family from a society, a town, from a district. So those are already clusters, already groups there of people, okay? But for the stratified, the researcher forms the strata, okay? I can say I'm only going to include those who are diabetic, HIV patients that are diabetic. So I've already formed a strata from the HIV group, okay? So each cluster of sample is further divided. So we have also what we call the multi-stage sampling, in which after formation of the first strata, still that first strata is again split and gotten small clusters, okay? So multi-stage sampling, each cluster of sampling is further divided into smaller clusters. So participants are selected from each smaller cluster randomly. So you first pick from a population, a cluster, and then that cluster is again divided into some other clusters. So that is multi-stage sampling. So if we go into the non-probability sampling, whereby no known probability of being selected into the sample, so there is no probability, there is no chance that you will be selected because it is based on researchers' convenience and opinion. So it is selected on, there is, one of them is purposive, and here the researcher selects participants based on purpose. It is also called deliberate also, or judgmental. So I can base on purpose, and then I say for all those who go for gymnastics, I'm only going to choose those who have who are hypertensive. So you all go for gymnastics, but in that group, I only want those who are hypertensive. So I take out only those. I'm interested in that group, okay? So not everyone has the chances to participate. Or I go into a school and then I'm like, I'll only select those who are between this age, okay? So for that reason, for purposive, the results are focused, okay? Then let's go to conveniency. So conveniency is also non-probability sampling, whereby the participants are selected based on accessibility. So you can, let me give an example of when I was doing domiciliary, that is in dancing, was selecting mothers that we want to deliver and then follow up after delivery. So we are basing on convenience, where does that mother stay? So you may not be interested in going in for a mother, you are in Fort Portal, and then you go for a mother, or you follow up a mother who is from Kasese. That could be far for you to go and follow. So we are basing on convenience to select the mothers who are supposed to deliver. Okay. So we have also what we call the snowball. It's a non-probability sampling, whereby one respondent identifies the other respondent in the study, and it is usually used when the participants are hard to get or they're difficult to identify. So I can give an example of you want youth that are HIV positive, okay? So you pick one who is HIV positive, and then he will direct you to another, okay? Like, no, we take with the other, we take with James medicine, or we go with James to go and pick medicine, okay? So that is snowball. The first participants, it follows a chain for you to get the sequential other participants, or the other participants that you are interested in. So there is also another non-probability, which is called quota sampling. It is similar to the stratified sampling, whereby you form stratas, maybe basing on age. But for this one, after getting females and males, the selection of those participants within the male and female strata is not random, okay? You just pick again purposively or conveniently. So that one is also called quota sampling. So it starts with, it is like a stratified, but for it, the selection of participants is not random, okay? So we also have what we call the consecutive sampling, whereby the researcher selects the samples according to his or her convenience, okay? But for this time, it looks to be like a convenient sampling method. But for consecutive, you pick one group, work on it, get all the research done, get the result, collect the data, get the results, finish that group, then collect another group. So that is consecutive sampling. Work on first sample, finish it, then get to the other group. So I think I'm leaving the space for you. Thank you for listening. We can have more questions than me talking that much. Thank you. So you can just unmute and then pose your questions.
Thank you for presentation. Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, I can get you.
Yes, my question is not about this. My question is on how I want to know how I can publish my academic article. I'm done with my research, but I don't know what procedure I can take and how much it can cost to publish my article. Thank you.
Inbox me later after the session. We shall help you. Or Dr. Said. Any other question?
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Mr. Ayub?
Yes, Rachel, I can hear you. How you doing?
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. My question is about one of the sampling methods, that is snowballing, but they usually use it during when you're looking for literature. For example, you want some articles that some articles are not easily gotten, and then someone says they use snowballing. Please throw more light on how they use it in searching for literature. Thank you.
So as I answer Miss Rachel, snowballing is what Dr. Said discussed the other time as chain, okay? As the chain search for literature. You can download an article that is mostly read, that its title and its content is almost, let me give a percentage of like 75% similar to what you want to study. And that study is of 2022, okay? If you consider the references, if your institution requires more references that are not more than 10 years, that means maybe all the references in that article can work in your research. So what you do, you download all the references in that article. One article that you downloaded, you refer to its reference, download all the references there, which are now articles, and then use also those articles for your study. You will have definitely different kind of arrangement, and you'll have definitely different work. That is snowballing or chain identification of articles relevant for a study. Hope I'm clear. Keep registering. I hope, Rachel, you've gotten it right.
Yeah, thank you. How about when someone, as you said, instead of downloading the all of those articles, then as for example, you're doing citation, there's somewhere where they say related articles. How about if I go there and I just click on that icon of related articles?
When they say related articles down there, related articles might be very ancient articles, but they are related to the study. So you may not be interested in those. But an article that has, let me give an example of, if you're studying surgical site infections in mothers who have gone under cesarean section, that study could have been done in Australia, in the UK, in Britain, okay? But not in Uganda or not in your area. So if you get an article that is recent and almost studied a similar thing, maybe for it, instead of surgical site infection, they put wound infection, all the references there may be ideal for your study. You may not download all of them, but you may have almost a half of those packaged into your references to consider, and then you consider another article to again download more. So you download only 2 articles or 3, but out of those 3, you have a cocktail of 30 plus articles from only the 3 as a chain. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Do you have any more questions? Do we have any more questions, or we can wind this up?
Yeah.
Are there any questions in the chat?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I need some clarification about the study methods. Yeah, we have different types of studies. I can do quantitative study or qualitative study. These methods use in or there are some methods which are specific for a particular type of study. For example, are there some like I can just use the probability sampling methods on quantitative, or they can be interchange, or I can use both. Thank you.
I don't know whether Godwin, your network wasn't that nice, but I don't know whether you said you're asking whether the sampling takes work in qualitative and quantitative, or there are those that are specifically for the other, quantitative or qualitative. I think the sampling techniques work for all the categories, whether qualitative, whether quantitative, whether cross-sectional, whether cohort study, whether ward study. They cut across all those studies, depending, because they just talk about how best you want to pick your participants into that study, into the study. Is that okay? Godwin, your network is poor. Maybe you could type it before we conclude. You have like 5 minutes. I think you can type it and then we look through it as a question. How do I select a method for sampling? William has asked that. William, all you need to know is non-probability sampling techniques provide they provide good accuracy of your data. Okay? If you look at this, sampling techniques determine the accuracy of the study. Okay? So if you choose non-probability, there is always bias of selection. Okay? That comes to the mind of every researcher. The moment you use non-probability, convenience, that one, the first question is there is bias selection. Okay, so when you use non-sampling, there is less bias in the selection of participants. So I hope I've answered you right. So
Mr. Ayub, I have another question.
Yes.
Sorry. My other question is, there are times when you have a small sample size and you want to use everyone you find. Did I miss that out? Someone told me it is called census. Is it census sampling?
Yes.
Where does it fall? Or okay, that's fine.
Census, yes, it is true. It is called census, but that one is not now called sampling. Yeah, Rachel, it's not called sampling because sampling, I've already said, is selection of sample from individual or from a large group. So that one is called census, or it can also call a population study. You are considering all of them. You've not sampled. So you just go and then you're like, I want to do a study on antenatal mothers about the use of herbs in pregnancy. So you like, I'll consider all mothers who come for antenatal. That is census. But you put a period of time, maybe I'll recruit for 1 month. And you give us justification why you want to consider 1 month. Is that clear?
But then, Mr. It is not very clear, but I get your point a bit. So I'm wondering, for
example, a sampling technique. Census, you're considering all of it. It's called population. Actually, you don't even put in your study that I'm using this sampling technique. You don't put like sampling technique. You just put population of study. You put antenatal mothers. Definitely, the moment you put in the heading population of study, I'll just definitely know you're considering all of them. But if you're not going to consider all of them, you put for me sample study. Meaning you selected a group. Yes. Census, we take all of them. You got the question right. I wanted to inquire about using sampling method based on the types. No. The type of study may not really be related to the sampling technique that you want to use. But the sampling technique is either probability or non-probability is ideal. It adds credit and quality of your research. I hope we've had a good discussion. I wish you all the best. Please register, and we are only remaining with 1 session. And I hope you've learned from all these other previous sessions. So the other session, we shall enlighten you more about the packages that will come in soon. and also our organization. Okay. So we thank you all for today, and I wish you a blessed day. Dr. Said is saying has registered everyone, so you shouldn't worry about that. Okay. Yeah. So all the best. Have a good day. I can sign out now. Any questions can come in our WhatsApp group. Okay. See you, Godwin. See you, Albert, Isaac, Oliba, and Rachel. I hope, Rachel, you're getting the things. If you ain't getting, you still text in the WhatsApp. We shall get back to you. Blessed day. Bye.